Alright, so here we are in the T90 Titans League Season 2. We've got MbL in the blue trunks Mongols today. He's up against Dark in the green trunks Lithuanians. So Dark spawning with a little bit of extra food, nice faster trash units, and a boost to Knights and Ladies if you can get control of these relics. There's also a lot of this gold in these little crocodile swamps. So, actually, this is basically the Daintree rainforest. So, MbL is Mongols. What sort of bonuses have we got here today? Some nice cavalry and light cavalry bonuses. Bonuses to hunting, so you should actually get a bit of a early boost there as well, like his Lithuanian opponent. And players actually, they start with a sea tower here, so they're probably actually best off putting their main dock here. So it makes that a little bit harder to actually take it. But it looks like best schools of fish aren't necessarily on it like Dock. Dark was probably best off putting his dock right here, because there's some big schools right there. Meanwhile, MbL probably best off docking here for economy in the long run. Although this is a pretty good spot for him, he's got 3 good schools right here. Looks like he's going to go for a dock. So we've seen dock starts in pretty much all the maps, I think. Well, pretty much all the maps with water, like it seems to be just about a no-brainer to go for a dock opening. Looks like these shallows, in theory you could send units up and down them, but they've actually all got passages on them. And that rock, you couldn't actually... I mean, they've all got these passages, but they've all got trees on them. But then there's also this rock here you couldn't even chop down. I mean, late game though, in theory you could use a siege owner to blow up all these trees and actually ship units from one side of the map to the other, but sort of doesn't happen from the main cross spawn. Sort of really only from the 2 gold sides. Other side, Dark, I think just must have a slight fishing ship advantage over MbL. Yeah, he's 2 up at the moment. And that, pretty standard early for a water map. Let's just hit the rewind button for 5 minutes. I mean, let's just hit the speed up button for 5 minutes. I want to hit the rewind button, we're not actually seeing anything yet. Don't tell me I've got to sit through this again. Perhaps MbL's going to try and wall off here, because then it keeps the gold and the stone mine protected as well. It's another thing, it doesn't look like there's a hell of a lot of safe gold here. So you might even be best off trying to like have a forward base over here or something. Get the drop on your opponent. And even if you can't knock them off this, at least you've secured 1,000,001 gold mines over here. I mean, I suppose that's still 1,600 gold. It's still a huge amount to take you. Well, it pretty much either takes you to late game, or it gives you units early on, not both. A fairly limited amount of gold. Well, they normally only 200, it's just that you get so many piles of it. It must always be 800. So I guess it must be a pretty punishing map for our players in terms of the gold here. They can't control both of their natural gold spawns. They can't get on top of one of these while their opponent's able to get on top of the other. They're pretty much fucked. So early barracks for MbL. The cockroach is known for being really solid with early aggression out of the barracks. His age up a little while away, but he'll be able to kill Dark Scout there. Considering how many houses got Dark Scout, I don't think that was to give him population space. And considering that barracks placement, MbL probably not going to commit to early infantry. Just worry about having that down because it means he can throw down stables early and harass with that. Use the market. Try and take a quick castle and harass on the land. And gonna try and be a pest even though there is a sea tower there. It just means he really limits MbL to gathering within a very specific area, and he might even be able to take enough pot shots that he picks off one of these fishing ships. And it looks like Dark not able to quick wall out the scout there, so MbL is through the gap for the time being, but MbL have to try and breach this next gap. Ooh, and Dark fucked up the opportunity to quick wall there again. So MbL is going to get a chance to scout here. While this is going on, Dark is really limiting MbL's ability to gather on the water there. That is a bit of an investment. Well, MbL's have to go for the quick castle age. He's got the stables, but I think this is actually his starting scout, and he's just, you know, managed to sneak in with that just so he gets a bit of a read on whatever Dark's planning as the follow-up to his control of the water. Well, Dark, well, I mean, he's really nailing that control of the water, expanding his fishing eco as much as he can, because he knows he's now got the galleys to just dive anything on the water here for MbL, but MbL, now that he's got castle, can actually get upgraded ships and maybe try and turn this around. Ooh, looks like that path actually isn't completely blocked there. So the Step Lancer gonna try and make his way across. The Dark is walled off from this side, so MbL not really going to be able to do a huge amount with that at the moment. He's going to want to be careful to not run units through that, because Dark will be able to take pot shots at them, take a lot of health off them, if not outright kill them. So MbL's having to send everything down this right side here. Brought a couple of villages over here for some reason. Bit of a miscontrol there of the villagers. I mean, the one of them's actually taking the fight. But MbL is being a pest with that scout while he's trying to tear down part of the walls. Try and find some more ways in. Force Dark to have to throw up buildings just odd spots around his base to keep this wall up going. It's a nice spot for a town centre, and if you can get one on both of these sides and really hem Dark in, Dark's really forced to have to take as much out of the water as possible. He's having to be very careful because MbL has that Castle Age tech on the water advantage. So fire ships versus fire galleys, not a very fun fight. Fire galley's trying to tear down the sea tower, but it's really not a good trade for Dark there. He's gonna have to try and get fire ship if he can and just protect his own water eco as best as possible. And right now MbL is at the gates. It's gonna tear down a hole in the wall soon. And just sneaks some step lancers in. So second town centre being thrown up here for Dark. Very timely for him. And he's still interrupting MbL's water eco, don't forget that. Like, he does have his own water eco that is roaring, while MbL's is non-existent. But in saying that, the Vil count is favouring MbL because he's managed to snipe a couple of villages consistently throughout the game. MbL's actually cleaned up all the crocs on this side. Well, there's some more on over on the top side there. This is rough for Dark because it's very rough to gather any gold other than right next to that second town centre. Although it looks as though he's won back control of the water, and now that he's actually got Castle Age ships, it's a lot easier to try and just face tank that siege tower while you either take it down or kill anything around it. Cavalry force here for Dark, a little bit outnumbered, so the knight goes down with relative ease there for MbL. He's not quite able to get on top of the villagers here. So he's just going to drive the knight and try and grab some villagers under the town centre, so Dark has to be quick to try and garrison everything here, and a nice quick wall there. That's the limit damage the step lancers can do, but I do manage to kill one of the villagers anyway with their increased attack range. They're going to try and work through the palisades here, so what's Dark got up his sleeves? MbL's actually starting to really get ahead of him economically. He's up to 3 town centers. He's got access to all this free gold and stone. Well, Dark for the moment, because he's been forced off all the gold and stone off the land here. It's looking really rough for him. He can't get that third town centre, and he can't get castles or lots of really flashy, expensive units. Bearing in mind, Dark does still have water control, so at least he has fishing eco. But he's not expanding that any further at the moment. MbL does still have some more fire ships out to try and wreak havoc here. MbL managing to snag a couple of villages again. If we keep doing this, he's just going to continue to grow that village lead, considering he is, at this stage, still 1 town centre up. So it's rough for Dark, but he picks off some of these step lancers. And he's forced MbL back on the water momentarily. MbL picking off yet another farmer. Dark. So really wall himself in as best he can. Just needs to protect that gold at all costs because he's gonna find that MbL is gonna want to try and interrupt the gold over here on the top side, and MbL has got a nice catch because Dark has just tried to throw up a cheeky town center over here, and he's just run into MbL's forces head on. That's really rough for Dark. Really great for MbL at the moment. MbL, he was originally going to go for a town center on that, a castle on the expansion town center, but this is good enough. He denies the potential to go for the third town center up there. Dark forced to have to go for it over here on the left side of his base, but and after bleeding a lot of villagers, now down 80 to 56 in terms of the villager population. So at this stage it's really crucial to try and have as close to sort of 80 to 85 at the moment as you can. So Dark on 58 is really struggling. The villager falling there for him. He is continuing to minimize MbL's control of the water, but he needs to be very careful and not lose fishing ships because he's got his war galleys tied up over here and he is going to lose them. Now his fishing boat's pretty undefended, and if he loses those, it's pretty much the only advantage over MbL he does still have at the moment. So MbL still not fishing yet, and his raiding step lance is being killed there. MbL has got great control of this top side resource area. And our Lithuanian player has how many relics has he managed to get? 1 relic so far, so that's great for him. He can hopefully try and snag a couple more, considering there is, I think, 7 on this map. Which is quite nice. Normally there's only about 5, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the one he's already grabbed. So if you can get a hold of 2 or 3 more, his cavalry will really start being heavy hitters. It basically gives him a free damage upgrade for every relic you control. So once you've gotten 3 or 4, you've got these killing machine knights. Things have sort of settled down for the moment, but I think MbL must be setting up to go towards Imp and just take maybe either 1 more castle or 1 more town center at this point, because looking very solid. He really just needs to probably try and finish off a proper wall up here, because Dark will be trying to find a way in. Dark has now lost all of his fishing boats, but he has the advantage in terms of the fire ships on the water at the moment. Neither player is fishing just yet. Mangadai out to surprise these Knight Raiders, but Dark could have kept going there. It's not actually walled off. MbL hasn't finished walling that off just yet. So Dark, bit of a misplay there. I don't know what the go was with that, because really he could have taken that fight, I think. He'd have been through and right to force a big garrison there, I think. Bit of a misplay backing out there, I think, and now MbL has walled it off. He's going to try and harass him with some Mangadai. Dark, let's secure any more relics in the meantime. He's got the one over there, another monastery here. He's trying to get all the more aggressive relics, and now he's a little bit late with the knights. Monastery over here under a lot of pressure, and with the Mangadai here, it's not as though Dark can try and evacuate the relic with ease. So really good control here by MbL. MbL just trying to harass over here, but Dark may be able to clean up these Mangonite for free. So, the first bit of a sigh of relief for him, I think. But over here on the right side, it's a different story. He hasn't got the Knights to engage, so he's going to lose control of the Relic, so that's one less damage on his Knights. So he's dropped from 12 to 11 damage on them again. We'll be back up to 12 soon. MbL going to start getting a lot of villager kills, and I mean he's already at 134 for the 89 of Dark at the moment. MbL has gone up to 4 town centers. I thought he might. Dark just waiting to get 1 or 2 more rams. And he can push. I mean, MbL just waiting to get 1 or 2 more rams here, and he can look at pushing this. And I mean, it means Dark has to have a lot of villagers garrisoned here to actually blow up the rams quickly. But the castle is going to go up, so it means some villagers are probably going to fall. MbL going to try and secure this other side, and if he can do so, Dark is wretched going into late game because there's a lot of gold that your opponent is going to have over you at this stage. Even that many rams sort of can't go in, and you sort of need to go to Imperial at this stage, I think. But MbL, it's not far off. He's definitely got the resources to make full use of Imperial and the work account. Well, Dark, he's now about to get to 100 villager pop, which is nice, but it's been a real battle to get there. Dark tapping out because I think he knows that, particularly over here on the right side, there'll be trebuchets queued up, and there'll probably be a bombard cannon or a siege onager getting queued up out of there, or maybe even capped ram upgrades for the rams, and GG is called. MbL takes the game.